Welcome back to the deep dive. When you're watching a match these days, does it ever feel like the pitch is shrinking?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like there's just no space out there anymore. That feeling that the game's become incredibly tight, suffocating almost. It's a huge challenge for, well, pretty much every team, right? And they've got to find really smart ways around it.
They really do.
So today, that's exactly what we're diving into. The narrowing game in modern football. We've got some fantastic insights here from technical director Ali Kamal Yilmaz. He really breaks down why this is happening, why it's dominating the game, and maybe more importantly, how the top teams are adapting their strategies.
Yeah, it's a great source for this.
So I guess the big questions are, what exactly is this narrowing game? Why is it everywhere now? And how on earth do teams actually play effectively when space is just gone?
That's the core mission for us today, isn't it? To really unpack the fundamental reasons behind this massive shift in tactics. And then, look at the clever solutions, the training ideas, the psychology involved that teams are using to, well, not just cope, but actually succeed in these tight spaces. It's a really fascinating change in how the game is played. Changes how you watch it, too.
It really does. It definitely feels different, like you said, tighter. Not those big, wide-open games we maybe remember from years ago. But is that just like a perception, or are there real, concrete reasons the pitch seems smaller, even if the dimensions are the same? What's actually driving this narrowing?
No, you've nailed it. It's not just a feeling. The pitch size is the same, but the effective playing area has definitely shrunk. And there are a few main reasons for that. First off, just the sheer physical intensity of the players now. It's off the charts compared to even 10, 15 years ago.
Right, they cover so much ground.
Exactly. They're fitter, stronger, more athletic. And crucially, they can maintain that really high intensity, pressing, chasing, closing down for the whole 90 minutes. Yeah. So imagine facing 11 players who just relentlessly hunt you down, block passing lanes, pressure the ball carrier constantly. That collective effort, it just naturally squeezes the space available.
Okay, so athleticism is a big part. What else?
Well, secondly, there's the huge analytical evolution in the game. It's not just gut feeling anymore. Teams use advanced analysis, video tech, tons of data. They meticulously scout opponents. They find weaknesses, passing patterns, preferred spaces, and then they specifically set up to block those off.
Ah, so they know where you want to go before you do, almost.
Pretty much. It leads to these incredibly organized, compact defensive shapes. Fewer surprises mean fewer gaps to exploit.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then there's a third element, kind of a risk management thing, especially, for teams maybe outside the top tier.
The ones trying to survive.
Exactly. For them, playing an open, expansive game against a team with maybe superior individual talent, it can be suicidal. Deadly is the word the source uses. So they choose to narrow the game. They pack the defense, stay compact, almost like digging a trench. Their main aim isn't necessarily to win expansively. It's often just not to lose. Survival tactics.
So physicality, deep analysis, and a kind of strategic caution from many teams.
Yeah. And the result of all that is what Yilmaz calls these 30, 35-meter compact defensive blocks, basically teams defending really deep and narrow, leaving almost no space between their lines.
Wow. Playing in a shoebox, basically.
Kind of, yeah. It leaves attackers with virtually no breathing room.
Yeah. Okay. If defenses are that tight, that's suffocating. Yeah. How do attacking teams even get through? If just relying on one star player isn't enough anymore, what's the secret sauce? What unlocks it?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question in modern coaching, isn't it? And the answer, overwhelmingly, isn't about individual magic. It's about collective movement.
Collective movement, okay.
Think about it. One player taking on one defender. Often just a 50-50 battle, right? Doesn't really create space elsewhere. But collective movement players, rotating positions, making runs off the ball, dragging defenders out of shape, that disrupts the whole defensive structure. It destabilizes their balance.
So working together to pull them apart.
Precisely. The source puts it really nicely. Hareket olmadan boşluk aşılmaz, which, basically means without movement, space isn't created. If everyone just stands still in their positions, the defense has an easy job. They just mark their zone or their man. Simple.
Right.
If, say, a winger drifts inside and maybe pulls the opposition fullback with him, and at the same time, a central midfielder bursts into the wide space that winger just left.
Oh, okay, I see.
Or maybe a fullback makes a run inside, a reverse run, dragging a marker. Suddenly, defenders are confused. Who do I follow? Do I stick to my zone? That hesitation, that confusion, that's where space suddenly appears.
So it's not just running, it's smart, coordinated running. Like a puzzle.
Exactly. Intelligent collective movement.
But hang on. Even if you have all this clever movement, if the ball is just passed around slowly, doesn't the defense just, shuffle across and get set again?
You've hit the other critical piece. Absolutely. That's where speed comes in. Huge factor. The source says, Haz olmadan rakip dengesiz yakalanmaz. Without speed, the opponent isn't caught off balance.
Right. Makes sense.
You can have the most intricate player rotations, but if the ball moves slowly, if the passes are sluggish, if players take too many touches, the defense has all the time in the world to readjust, shift over, and close the door again.
So, the movement creates the potential opening, but the speed actually exploits it before it closes.
Exactly. It has to be synchronized. The pass, the run, even the thought process, pass, koshu, dushunts, it all needs to happen at the same high tempo. Bang, bang, bang. It's like conducting an orchestra. Everything hitting the right note at the right instant, but at lightning speed. So the formula Yılmaz gives is pretty simple but powerful. Hareket plus haz plus shuzum. Movement plus speed equals the solution. That's how you break down these modern narrow defenses.
Wow, okay. Movement plus speed. It really shifts the focus from, like, one player dribbling past everyone to this intricate, fast-paced team effort. Like choreography almost. But thinking about the defenders, facing this constant movement, players popping up everywhere, what does that do to them mentally? It can't just be tiring physically, surely. There must be a big psychological element, too.
Oh, absolutely. You're right on the money there. The psychological side is huge. Yılmaz explains that teams defending narrowly often do it partly out of fear. The fear of losing kaybetmek, as he puts it.
Fear of being exposed, basically.
Yeah. So they stick to their rigid zonal system, hoping to minimize errors and just deny space. It's a safety-first approach.
Okay.
So the attacking team's job is to take that underlying fear and, well, make it real. They aim to suffocate the defense with this relentless movement, make them feel constantly under pressure, mentally overloaded.
How does that work in practice?
Well, imagine being a defender. Players are constantly swapping positions, running in and out of your zone. You're forced to make nonstop decisions. Your head is spinning, trying to track everyone. You're constantly asking yourself, Ben kimi takip ediyorum? Like, who am I actually supposed to be marking right now?
Right, the responsibility shifts constantly.
Exactly. And then the bigger dilemma hits. Kendi bölgemde mi kalayım yoksa oyun koyulama gideyim? Should I stick to my zone or should I follow this player who's running out of it?
Ah, that split-second decision.
That hesitation, that internal conflict, even if it only lasts half a second. That's the moment the attacking team gains what the source calls a psychological superiority. That tiny window of doubt or confusion is often enough for a clever pass or run to exploit the space. It's a real mental battleground out there.
I can almost feel that defender's anxiety just thinking about it.
Yeah.
That constant decision-making under pressure. Yeah, it really highlights football as this deep psychological contest, not just physical. So, given how complex this is, the movement, the speed, the mental pressure, how do coaches actually train this stuff? What happens on the training pitch to get players ready for these scenarios? You can't just tell them move faster, right?
Oh, definitely not. It needs to be drilled, ingrained. Coaches use very specific methods. One key type is rotasyon/mulara, rotation drills. These are exercises where basically standing still after you pass the ball is banned.
Really? Banned?
Yeah, pretty much. The rule is you pass, you move immediately. Change position, find a new space. It forces players into the habit of constant movement, making it second nature. It's about building that fluidity.
Okay, so drills for constant motion. What else?
Another really important concept is Üçüncü Adım Koşuları, third man runs. This is crucial for breaking lines. Think of it like a chain reaction. Player A passes to player B, maybe drawing a defender towards B, but before that defender fully commits, B quickly lays the ball off to player C. Now, the key is player C isn't just standing there. They've timed their run to burst into the space maybe created by player A's initial movement or player B drawing the defender. It's a sequence. Pass 1, pass 2 triggers run 3 into space.
Ah, like a planned combination to bypass the direct route.
Exactly. It's designed specifically to penetrate those tight blocks by creating an overload or exploiting a gap that wasn't obviously there. Very common tactic now.
Okay. Rotation, third man runs, any others?
Yeah, and then there are the Daralanda Oyunlar small-sided games, playing 5v5, 6v6, maybe even less, on really small pitches.
Like Rondo, but maybe more game-like.
Sort of, but often more structured towards goal. The tight space forces players to react quickly, change direction constantly, find clever passing angles under intense pressure, make instant decisions. It mimics that narrow game pressure cooker. It's all about developing those reflexes, that quick thinking, so it becomes instinctive in a real match.
Ah, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's not just about fitness, is it? It's about embedding these patterns, these habits, this sort of collective brain right onto the training ground.
Precisely. It's building that shared understanding, that collective intelligence, so they can execute these complex movements at speed, almost without thinking when the pressure's really on.
This has been really fascinating, a proper deep dive. So just to kind of pull it together, we've seen the reasons for this narrowing game, the physicality, the analysis, the risk aversion, and then the solutions, this vital collective movement, coupled with that critical element of speed. And understanding it's not just physical, but a huge psychological battle, too.
Exactly. And those dictums from Yilmaz really hammer it home, don't they? Daralan da sabitlik ölüm hareket yaşamdır. In tight spaces, standing still is death, movement is life.
Powerful.
And the other one, yavaşlık çıkıştır. Haz ise özgürlüktür. Slowness means collapse. Speed brings freedom. It just reinforces that modern football, especially against organized defenses, is solved by the team, by the collective, by the speed of play, not just waiting for one hero.
Yeah, it definitely changes how you watch, doesn't it? Knowing all this tactical thinking and training behind what looks like just, well, frantic action sometimes, it adds a whole other layer to appreciating the game. It's this constant, clever fight for inches, for seconds.
Absolutely. And maybe, thinking even bigger, if a sport like football, which seems so fast and individualistic sometimes, actually relies so heavily on this collective intelligence, the synchronized movement, the psychological game to break through constraints, well, what does that suggest about how we tackle complex problems in other fields, where resources or options might also feel really narrowed or restricted?
That is a great question to chew on. Food for thought, definitely. So, for everyone listening, next time you tune into a match, maybe look a little closer. Watch the movement off the ball. Track the speed of the passing. See how teams try to create space where it looks like there isn't any. See if you can spot that narrowing game and the tactics teams use to try and unlock it. It might just make the beautiful game even more interesting. Thanks for that incredible insight today.
My pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.